In October, Pope Francis signed the third encyclical of his pontificate, titled Fratelli Tutti. In it, he addresses how to face the world after this pandemic. He says the only option in the face of pain and injury is to follow the model of the Good Samaritan, who helps a wounded man no matter who he is, what he believes, or where he comes from.
Essere capaci di avere compassione. Questa è la chiave. Questa è la nostra chiave.
In October, the Pope was visited by Cardinal George Pell, who was found innocent after 404 days in prison on charges of abuse.
Grazie.
Grazie a lei, Santo Padre. Grazie a lei.
Grazie della testimonianza.
Pope Francis also had his last audiences with pilgrims.
Io vorrei fare come faccio dal solito, scendere e avvicinarmi a voi per salutarvi, ma con le nuove prescrizioni è meglio mantenere le distanze.
Shortly after, it became known that there was at least one person with coronavirus among the pilgrims present. For this reason, the Vatican decided to suspend these public meetings as well. One of the most significant gatherings of the month was this one with leaders of all religions. They met to pray for peace and for the victims of COVID-19. Pope Francis recalled that religious leaders and all believers must pray persistently to end wars. The controversy of the month was this documentary titled Francesco, which manipulated some statements made by the Pope. Its author edited phrases from interviews with Pope Francis and led audiences to believe that the Pope was in favor of same-sex civil unions. The Pope had initially said that same-sex couples have the right to be legally covered in matters such as inheritance or accessibility to medical care.
Le persone si devono accompagnare come li accompagna Gesù. Quando una persona che ha questa condizione arriva davanti a Gesù, Gesù non gli dirà sicuramente vattene via perché sei omosessuale. No.
The Vatican sent a letter to the nuncios clarifying that the Pope did not refer to the doctrine. One of the events that raised the most expectations was this, the beatification of Carlo Acutis in the presence of his parents and siblings.
Che il venerabile servo di Dio, Carlo Acutis laico, d'ora in poi sia chiamato beato.
For days, thousands of pilgrims gathered in front of his remains to pray. The Pope dedicated these words to him.
Un applauso al nuovo giovane Beato Millennials.
In October, the Vatican and China also renewed their agreement on the appointment of new bishops. It allowed the appointment of only 2 new Chinese bishops in its first 2 years, even though there are about 50 vacant dioceses. Therefore, instead of renewing or consolidating the agreement, the Vatican has decided only to extend the provisional phase. Over the next 2 years, it will be determined if this agreement works.